and welcome to a final LSU Football Fix. It's going to be a special show tonight. I've got Colin Hurley and Tayvion Galloway coming on tonight. Now, I've got a really special guest backstage. I wonder if he can hear me. Do you want me to bring you on? He might get mad at me. Mike, you there? Can you hear me? I'm pop him on for a second. We'll ask for forgiveness. What's up, Mike? Oh my God, he blew my ears out there. He's backstage screwing around with me, probably going to hit me with the muscle flex, all that good stuff. Anyways, tonight's show is brought to you by Tremonti's Seafood. Remember, good meat ain't cheap, cheap meat ain't good, and they're located at the corner of Jefferson and Airline for all your needs and goods for this off season. I won't be back on the show till August, but Tremonti's will be there with crawfish and all the goods. Mike is out at the women's basketball game where LSU actually took the lead just before halftime after being down quite a bit, 30-29. So Kim Mulkey is rolling there. They're 21-0, looking to go 22-0, which is just an incredible start to this season. I'm really looking forward to their matchup with South Carolina coming up. So the plan was for this final show, of course, the way the LSU Football Fix works is we start about a month before the season so we can talk to you about all the buzz. It's football season. It's the most magical time of the year. We want to talk to you about what's coming down the road. And then around February, March, April, the news really starts to slow down. Of course, we have spring football, but that's really just a period of a few months. So I had to pick a date to end the show every year because sponsors don't really want to pay for a football show during basketball season, football season. Just really wanted to defer to Mike and Buddy's show and all they have going on and all that good stuff. And it does give me a little bit more time to relax and enjoy my family during the off season. So plan was to do it signing day in the show. But today there was absolutely no action on the late signing day. In fact, if you look at the top 300 prospects in the country, only 6 of them were left on the board. So I appreciate y'all joining me for the final show of the year, particularly, during, a women's basketball game like that. And I wanted to put something together kind of special for y'all. So I figured I would bring in 2 of LSU's most vocal commitments that I really have ever seen, but certainly in this year's class, it's Tayvion Galloway and Colin Hurley. Because instead of, I feel like I've already rehashed LSU's recruiting class. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. I'll touch on it. Of course, they stuck with the 25 they signed for signing day, and we're still at 11. So it looks like number 5 recruiting class and number 1 transfer portal class, making for the number 4 overall talent coming in. Outstanding job by Brian Kelly and company addressing needs and all that good stuff. I've kind of rehashed that. If you want to go get the breakdown of the class, I have a previous show with all that information. Just go check that out. Before I go in to thank a sponsor, I want to ask y'all, please like, share, tweet, all that good stuff. Give a like button, give a share, all that good stuff. Super chats, all that is very helpful for our analytics. So I appreciate any and all of that. And I appreciate y'all for watching all season long. But I really want to thank Tremonti's for making this show possible and all of our sponsors who have made this show possible. It's a lot of fun that I enjoy getting to do, and tonight just really want to give a thanks to everybody who's made this possible for the last 6 months, and we'll make it possible in 6 months from now when we pick right back up. First off, let's go to Tremonti's and give them our thank you.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Also want to thank Alumni Hall coming on strong here. Alumni Hall will be back next season as a sponsor. Very excited to have them on board for this year and with Mike's show as well. Hey, Tiger fans, you know when you want to show your Tiger pride, Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest of selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar, Southern Tide hats, Yeti gifts, and accessories. You know, all the high-end good stuff you want to impress your LSU fan and your life with. Look no further than Alumni Hall. I've told y'all it's the Willy Wonka of all LSU fans. LSU students and faculty receive 10% off in-store every day. You can earn cashback rewards with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall located in Perkins Row or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Tiger fans shop. Thank you for Alumni Hall for making this possible. Now, I've got Colin Hurley backstage. We don't have Tayvion yet, but we'll get him in. I'm just going to throw Colin in here. Colin, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, bud. It's always a good night when I get you on, man. I'm really appreciative of you sending me those videos last week.
Yes, sir.
That was pretty wild, and appreciate you for coming on for my last show of the year, man. I couldn't think of anybody better than you and Tayvion to come on. So
No, thank you for having me.
I'm really happy. So I see we got the Dan Marino jersey making a repeat. Was Pops and company upset when the Dolphins got knocked out of the playoffs?
No. It's hard being a Dolphins fan. So at this point, we're used to it. So
yeah. Do you call yourself a Dolphins fan too?
I don't at all. My dad does, but I don't at all.
It's a Dolphins.
I'm just a player fan.
It's a Dolphins house. It's his house. So you're just under that roof. I feel you on that. But hey, man, at least Tua got healthy and we got to get a good look of them. But they got a good future with Mike McDaniels. I like that coach.
No, they do. He's definitely a good coach.
Okay, let me get this video up here. And roll. We're gonna watch this together. This is you deadlifting. What is this? 505?
Yeah, that's 500 right there.
That's 500. Okay, the 2.5 put it 500 exactly. And then here's a squat. This is 420 if I'm not mistaken. 405 plus 120 in chains. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you don't skip leg day, do you?
No, I don't. Not at all.
Have you always been like a weight room junkie?
Oh yeah. No, I love the weight room.
So you're not skipping bench on the combine. Like you're going to be that guy. You're going to Jay Cutler this thing, huh?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean, if you just do the math, guys, he doesn't turn 16 until March 1st. Is that right? March 1st, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Which is just unbelievable. If you do the math there, let's see, that's about like 35 pounds on the squat and deadlift he's added every year from birth. So an impressive squat rack there. How much is this like something you've improved a good bit in this off season, or what were you squatting a year ago?
A year ago, I'd probably say 400.
So you've added about 100 pounds.
Yeah,
on that.
I've put up quite a bit of weight.
Yeah, that's good. That's good though. Do you feel like being able to have this extra strength here is going to help you as a quarterback in the upcoming fall?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I can take a hit if I need to in the pocket, get out the pocket, make a move. I feel more explosive. Not gain weight, but I feel lighter. I feel lighter on my feet. So I'm honestly feeling better, and I'm feeling great putting on more weight and lifting heavier right now.
So one of the things I've noticed is that before you were a class of 2025, I mean, everybody had you as a 5-star kid, number 1 quarterback in the class. And then you got reclassified to 2024, and then magically you became a worse quarterback. According to these services, in one day, you went from 5-star number 1 to a 3-star player. For the record, guys, at tigerbait.com, we do our own site ratings. It's not factored into the recruiting, but we kept them at 5 stars. What do you think about it when recruiting services like 247 have you at 3 stars?
Now, first, let me just start by saying how grateful I am to all of the writers, all of the reporters, and the recruiting sites. It's definitely not an easy job. And I really feel like it's important for the student athlete's journey onto playing to the next level. That's definitely an important part. Um, no, I don't always agree with it entirely, but no, it's not exactly like based off of science and real stuff. It's opinions, stuff like that. No, and every different site uses a different criteria. No, rankings are like the Wizard of Oz. Um, no, it's all different. There's always someone behind, you know, the curtains pulling different strings and rating players differently. The $1 million question is honestly, who is that person? Who's that person making the call, making a certain player higher than a different player that honestly might be better than that player, but no, they just have a different opinion on them. Um, no, they put me as 5 star whenever I was 25 quarterback. Um, I feel like I was the number one quarterback in 25. And now that I've reclassed up to 24, I feel like I'm still top of that group. Um, so no matter what the rankings say, I know that I am the best quarterback in the country. No, that doesn't change for me. No, I feel like my arm talent is great. No, I got the film to back it up as well. And no, I'm about to play for a big time program, a powerhouse, and no, honestly, that's really what I'm excited for and I'm focused on right now.
I got a couple fan questions. I'm gonna throw your way here real quick. You got that Tebow Hurts weight room mentality. Are those guys you kind of model yourself after at all?
Jalen Hurts is my favorite player.
Oh, really? So you're
He's
excited for
been
the
my
Super
favorite
Bowl
player.
coming up
Oh yeah,
then?
no, he's been my favorite player since Alabama.
What do you like about him?
I feel like we just have a lot of common. No, he's been through some hard times. He's have to overcome some challenges, some adversity. We have the same build, big, strong weight room junkies,
Yeah, kind of same
leaders.
height, weight too.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, no. So I really try to resemble my game after his.
So you're rooting for the Eagles, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Okay,
sure.
gotcha. Ask Colin. All right, this one might get interesting for LSU fans, guys. He's 15 years old. I don't. What's you're born? You must be born in 2008, right?
2007.
2007 you were born. Okay.
Yeah,
So you were a baby when LSU won the championship in
yeah,
'07.
yeah.
What is your first memory of watching LSU?
Um, Honestly, just watching Odell and Jarvis Landry play together. That was definitely an electric team right there. Um,
That's not bad. You were really young when that happened, but I mean,
yeah.
that's those two were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely fun to watch.
Um, do you feel like you throw like Marino? Is that any inspiration for you?
Um, I feel like I have the velocity like Marino, but I definitely don't. I don't throw it like him. I feel like I throw it my
Yeah.
own way.
Yeah, very very different quarterbacks, but I'll say Dan Marino was way ahead of his time, man. He's kind of
Oh
like
yeah, for sure.
that generation of quarterbacks, like the Ben Roethlisberger, Tom
Yeah,
Brady, Peyton Manning, all those. He's in their mold,
yeah.
and there wasn't very many quarterbacks like Dan Marino back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Esteban, a very common regular to the show, has been supporting us for many years. He wants to know what your reasoning for reclassifying. That's something you had planned for a while, right?
Yes, sir. Um, no, like you said, that's just something that I've been talking about for a while between my small group. And once the time came, and I just came up with the decision. I was like, I want to reclass. I feel like I'm ready. I'm not missing out a year because I played my eighth grade year. So I'm not missing out a year of development or anything. I feel like I'm actually gaining so I can get on campus earlier, develop, and just be in that environment and, be in that locker room, learn from the coaches and compete with my teammates.
Chance Bat, this is one of the questions I had actually for you. But let's word it like this. Okay. Are there any guys you're currently working on for the class of 2024?
No, there's definitely a lot of guys that I'm working on right now.
Are you
24
willing to
and
drop a
25.
name, or we have to play it safe here?
Um, no, I'm gonna just keep that to myself. You'll see
Okay.
once they become a Tiger.
You got the number 2 class in the country already, but only 8 guys committed. It's early. Um, I mean, yeah, do you imagine things will be picking up pretty quickly here over this as summer comes around the corner?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I really feel like everyone's high on LSU that I've talked to. This season, Brian Kelly going to the SEC championship, first time in the SEC. No, that's big time, and that's honestly a coach that you would want to play for. No, that's a winner. That's somebody that knows how to coach, knows how to run a program, and ultimately knows how to develop their players. LSU didn't have a great season 2 years ago, but this past season he showed what he can do and how he can take a team to a high level playing football. So that's definitely a coach that I would talk to these guys to play for.
Has IMG Academy come after you at all? I mean, I know Trinity Christian isn't too far from there, is it?
No, they definitely have, but I've turned them down.
Oh yeah, why's that?
Trinity's the place for me. I love playing for Verlin Dormney. He's a great coach, over 300 wins, and that's big time in high school football. He's just a great coach. I love him. I wouldn't play for anybody else.
We had Tayvion pop in for a second, but he popped out. He must have had a connection issue there. Well, then I'll ask this. So you are very vocal, right, and very much out there, very visible as a recruit. Are there people like your coach helping you brand yourself currently?
No, I don't have like the flashy group and stuff like that. Honestly, I let my play work talk for itself. No, I go out there. I'm respectful. Whenever I do interviews, whenever I go out there and talk to multiple people, I really felt like I built my brand based off my play, going out there and performing. I think that's the way I built my brand. I didn't have the group around me. I have my small group of guys that helped me. And without them, I wouldn't be here today. No, they've helped me become a better quarterback, helped me be a better man on and off the field, in the weight room. No, they've done a lot for me. But I really feel like that's how I built my brand.
That's great to hear, man. I mean, not even looking out for yourself here. By the way, here's a comment here. He says you look like Caleb Williams, and we're talking about play on the field, of course. I tend to agree. I covered Caleb Williams when he was at high school and came to LSU. You know, he came very close to coming to LSU. Yeah, I agree. The play style, especially the throwing motion and all that, the size, it's very similar. Ask Colin, have you talked to Jaden Daniels and Nussmeyer at all?
Oh yeah, no. I talk with them all the time whenever I'm up there. They follow me on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, so we keep in touch. And I'm pretty good with them.
All right, I'm gonna throw Tayvion in here now. Let's see how this works. Tayvion, what's going on, man?
What's good? How you doing?
Good, man. Look, I'm glad to have you on. I was just telling Colin, final show of the year. I wanted to go out with a bang. I thought you two guys were the first guys I wanted to call to have on together. I'm looking forward to having y'all on this show tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all connect with each other at LSU quite a bit. How well do y'all know each other? Do y'all talk a bunch?
Oh,
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
We've hit each other up on social medias and on our numbers a few times for sure.
Have y'all actually had a chance to like play pitch and catch yet? Have you thrown a ball to Tayvion yet, Colin?
No, I have not, but we're definitely going to connect soon.
I'll make that
we're
happen.
going to cross paths. Yeah, we're going to cross paths by at LSU or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Any trips to Baton Rouge planned for y'all?
I think I'll go sometime in early April, like maybe like the 1st of April.
1st of April, Colin?
I'm going early March.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get those dates synchronized, guys. I want to see some pitch and catch film.
No, I'm definitely gonna be up there, probably
Yeah,
April and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Are y'all thinking multiple visits this summer, or just
oh yeah.
is it tough for y'all to pool?
Well, my family, it's definitely tough with traveling sometimes, but I definitely
Yeah.
want to get to Baton Rouge as much as possible.
Colin, is the trip hard for you? Maybe what, a 10-hour drive for you?
Yeah, no, so no. Well, it should be like a 8-hour drive, but my dad drives as well, so it turns
It's like
to
double
close
that
to
for me.
12. Oh
What was
yeah.
that, Tayvion?
I said it's like double that for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was quite that far. But it's still one day drive. But are y'all are very strong verbal commits for LSU here. Are y'all thinking y'all might go visit around any other schools, talk to anybody else this summer, or are you only going to LSU's camps?
I'm only going to LSU.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't plan on camping or anything anywhere else.
I like it. Okay. So that leads me to ask, y'all's commitments are so strong and y'all are both so vocally pushing for LSU. Why is your commitment to LSU so strong?
You want to go first on that?
Yeah, no, I got it. I I really feel like my relationship with this coaching staff really hit off the first time I met them. No, this was before the season. I went in there on a 7-on-7 trip with my team. We pulled in there 11 p.m. First time meeting Coach Sloan. We go in there, go inside the office. We talk. We do some whiteboard, watch some film, and I really feel like we bonded there because the team left at around 1 a.m. So yeah, 1 a.m. I stayed there until I believe 3 a.m. We locked it up. And I really feel like that was the time that I knew that I was like, I really feel like this is the place for me. I really like this coach. I really like where this program is going. And after this season, after seeing what Coach Kelly did, and how much the players developed, how much the players loved him, I knew that this is the place for me. And no, I'm 100% on LSU, and I can't wait to be a Tiger and be on campus.
What about you, Tay?
Yeah, with me, I definitely feel a similar way. Just the love and the hospitality that the whole coaching staff was able to show me, and just the connection I was able to build with them from Coach Kelly to Coach Denbrock. I really just felt the real genuine love, and especially just knowing the way that they can use me with just what Coach Kelly and Coach Denbrock know about tight ends, and then and just being able to know how they use me, and then just seeing how the season went just in Coach Kelly's first year. It really just reassured me what the BK effect is all about, and I'm definitely on 1,000% committed to that.
Tayvion, you're from Ohio, right? Which not too far out from Cincinnati. I probably asked you this last time you come on. Did you have like a pre-existing relationship with Mike Denbrock or anything like that before you committed?
Yeah, Coach Denbrock, he was recruiting me whenever he was at Cincinnati, and I was actually the first guy in the class of 24 that he offered when he went to LSU.
On talking about y'all's personal branding, I touched on this a little bit with Colin. We'll start with Tayvion here because I kind of already touched with him. Y'all are both very visible, very out there, very consistently communicating using your social channels. Do you feel like it's more important to brand yourself early in the NIL era, or does that not play a role at all in what you're doing?
I feel like building a name for yourself and just your own image is definitely good to be able to get a head start on that. But I feel like your name can be bigger even starting out late. It's just really how you choose to put your name out there and what kind of things you are putting around your own image.
What about you, Colin? Is NIL era? Do you feel like you need to brand yourself more in the era of NIL?
I definitely feel like you do. No, that's not really a topic that I talk about, or that I really worry about. No, NIL is definitely important, but I really feel like the football aspect, going out there, competing, and building a brotherhood with your teammates. I really feel like that's the most important thing. It's also winning on Saturdays as well. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's how you
Right.
really build your brand right there.
I think we can all agree that branding yourself as a business is definitely a secondary role to being a football player, right? But it's just interesting this day and age. It's a legitimate thing. It weighs in for guys, because certain schools you might be able to build a bigger brand and make some income. That's NFL is always there, but the NIL opportunities are right now. You can invest in yourself while in college. Did that weigh into any decision for your college? Like did thinking like, well, LSU's a bigger brand school, I might be able to build myself into a business while I'm there. Did that weigh at all in y'all's decision?
Nah, to me, NIL and like just the big branding of the school and everything, that really didn't play like any part of the role in my commitment for real. Because I know that's just something that comes with it. That's not really the main goal. That's not even where my head's at. I'm just focused on getting to the best point that where I can be to be able to possibly get in the NFL one day.
Colin?
Yeah, no, I feel like people chase the school name, chase the offers, chase the like the gear, all that, the drip, stuff like
Right.
that. I really feel like at the end of the day, the most important thing is to be where you're loved by the players, the coaches, and to feel like it's a home for you for the next 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5. And that's a place that that you can develop, get better on and off the field, and know that you can go somewhere in life after college.
All right. So on the 2023 class, here's Ray Powell. I have a question similar like this, loaded up here anyways. Ask Colin, what do you think about the O-line recruits LSU is bringing in for 2023? A lot of those guys are probably going to be guys who block for you one day.
They're definitely monsters. I met one of them at the U.S. Army All-American game, and I felt small next to that dude. He was huge. And that's a guy that I want blocking.
Is that Lance Hurd you met?
Yeah.
He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's big, and that's a guy that I want blocking for me.
Yeah.
So I can't wait just to be behind that and to go out there, lead, and go win ball games.
With Lance Hurd, it's one of those dudes who's like he's too good to sit the bench for his first year. But then LSU brings back all 5 offensive linemen. So I'm sitting here as a reporter. I have no idea where he's going to fill in, but I feel like you got to get him on the field there somehow. What about the receivers? Are you excited about those guys at all?
Oh, yeah. No, I am. I've actually played a couple in the 7-on-7 tournaments, and they look
Jaylen
like
Brown,
ballers.
right?
Yeah. No, he's definitely a fast target, goes up and gets the ball. So I can't wait. LSU always grabs the best athletes, and they're definitely known for their receivers.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to just be a part of that group and to go throw balls to them.
Are you excited to make LSU known for its quarterbacks?
Oh yeah, the ball already did that. So
hey, look, it's trending up a good bit for LSU. It's funny. Years ago, I mean, LSU is known as just being a quarterback away. And, quarterback hadn't really been, if there's been a problem at LSU the last few years, even, the end of the Ogeron era, what the quarterbacks were doing their thing for sure. Tayvion, they signed a lot of tight ends in the 2023 class. Are you scared of those guys?
Yeah, that's actually a funny question to me. I believe still sharp and still. So being with the best guys is gonna make me the best that I can be for sure. But I feel like the best athlete and the hardest worker are always gonna make the way out on the field. So I still plan to be starting my freshman year. So
plan to start as a freshman. Wow, lofty goals as a freshman in high school. You had a lot of lofty goals for yourself. I watched the little documentary you made, right? And do you feel like you've accomplished? How do you feel like you've done as pursuing those goals now that you're a senior?
I feel like with my personal goals and just achieving what I feel like I could handle by myself, I feel like I've done a pretty good job with that. There's definitely still more accolades and accomplishments I want to be able to reach before I graduate as a senior, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job at achieving my goals.
So do you know any of the tight end guys who've come in? Have you talked to any of them at all?
Oh yeah. Jackson, the guy that's from
Yeah, he's from Ohio too. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually help recruiting him to come over to LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, after he decommitted from Cincinnati, I was telling him, I was like, this the move, because whenever he committed to Cincinnati, it was with Coach Denbrock actually being there.
All right, I'm gonna ask you about your rating. You're the 5th rated tight end in the country. Do you feel like that's an appropriate rating for where you're at?
I feel like I'm better than anybody else out there, honestly.
Oh, you love to hear it. So Colin said he was the number 1 quarter. So they had Colin as the number 1 quarterback, by the way, in most of the rankings. And then he got reclassified to 2024. And I just find it hilarious that, he bumped up a class. So now he's 3 stars. He became a worse quarterback because he moved up a class. Man, do you have any thoughts on that rating?
I definitely think Colin's one of the top quarterbacks in the class, if not the best. So I don't think the rankings actually matter at all. We're gonna see the production when we get in Baton Rouge.
Are either y'all going to be able to enroll early? I assume for you, Colin, it's going to be a little difficult because you're probably already tripling down on classes. Being a 15-year-old senior. But go ahead and tell me, are you going to be able to enroll early, Colin?
I'm definitely going to try my best to.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of hard work, but I know I can get it done. So I'm just going to see where this takes course, and if I can do it, I'm definitely jumping on it.
So have you talked to like a counselor or whomever? Is there a path to do it that's been outlined to you, or?
No, there sure is. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, it's possible. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much work I can get done in a certain amount of months. So.
What about you, Tay?
Yeah, it's the same with me. Right now, I already got my plan outlined and my schedule already prepared for me to graduate early so I can enroll in January.
Chance Babin wants to know, ask Galloway, how's basketball season going? Didn't you tell me you wanted like 25 points a game this season? I talked to you about this already.
Yeah, so actually with my basketball season actually came to an early end because I was focusing more on things like my mental health and just my all around wellness.
Well, that's good to hear, man. I mean, you got to take care of yourself for sure. Speaking of taking care of himself here, I got to throw this one up here for you to comment on. Did you happen to catch this workout video Colin shared with us?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, let's show it then off real quick. All right, I played this earlier in the show. I want your reaction. So here he is. You're cleaning 500 even, right? And we're going to do a squat of, 400 plus 120 chains. How are you in the weight room? Do you think you could keep up with the quarterback here?
Hey, I definitely can.
Oh, you definitely can. I love to hear that, man. What's your squat looking like?
Lately I actually haven't been squatting, so I don't know what my max is.
Yeah, because you've had other sports and stuff going on, but
I still been in the weight room. I just haven't been focusing on like actually squatting lately. I've been doing more like explosive workouts with my legs and things like that.
Well, it's fun that there's finally a quarterback who will give guys like yourself a run for their money in the weight room. It's really funny seeing a quarterback lift that much, man, because there are legitimately linemen and stuff who can't do that sometimes, especially in high school.
Yeah, my high school quarterback from this previous season, he's actually just now graduating. He was lifting a pretty hefty amount too. He's about my size and just lifting just about that.
Yeah. Well, and look, I'm gonna give some support here to you, Tay. It is tougher for a 6'5" guy to squat that, the big heavy weight. Colin, you're 6'1", right?
I'm about 6'2" now.
Oh, about 6'2". Well, look, you might still grow. Who knows, man? How tall is your dad, Colin?
5'7".
5'7"?
5'7".
5'7"? Yeah. How tall is your mom?
6 foot.
Okay,
If
all
that,
right, all right, all right.
5'11".
We're seeing where it comes from then. All right, so mom's got some really good tall
Well,
DNA
yeah,
there
Hey,
going
your
my
for
father
you.
mom.
bless you, boy.
Oh yeah, my mom's side. My uncles are both 6'5" and 6'7", and my grandpa 6'8". So that helps.
Oh yeah.
LSU. So on Saturday, LSU's got a hat on the table for Jawan Johnson. I'm just curious, have y'all talked to him at all?
A
No,
little bit, not too much, just a little bit though.
Just a little bit, Tayvion. Same for you.
I haven't talked to him at all.
Just an interesting thing here. LSU hasn't, so only 8 commitments, right? There's only one Louisiana guy. So I think we all know that's about to pick up big this summer as LSU gets that Louisiana talent that is, so rich and a big part of the program for LSU. It'll be interesting to see for him. He's got Colorado, Coach Prime on the table, and he's got Florida on the table, but we'll talk about him later in the show once I get these guys out of here. All right, Colin, you wrote an op-ed, which, by the way, is a ridiculous statement to say about any high school recruit ever, but you did that. And I published it for tigerbait.com, and it was very popular. You said in there, the gap between LSU and Georgia is not that wide. Why?
Well, I feel LSU's about to go take over college football. I really feel like Coach Kelly's made a big impact on SEC football, and he's put out a statement out there through this past season that we're in it to take over. Well, like it says here, the BK takeover.
Yeah.
And I really feel like this team is about to be a dynasty, win multiple national championships back-to-back years, and I just can't wait to be a part of this, and go win a national championship and bring one home.
Tayvion, do you agree that the gap is not as wide as it might seem with LSU and Georgia?
Oh yeah. I definitely agree with that. And just off what Colin was saying, I definitely think Brian Kelly, like a lot of people were saying, he wasn't prepared to be an SEC coach, but he didn't come to the SEC just to be just to have average teams. No, he came to take over. That's why it's called the BK takeover. We're gonna come and run stuff. I fully believe that.
What do you think is so special about this program under Brian Kelly? Like, what are some specific factors? Because at one point when y'all were analyzing this process, there was no bias for LSU. Neither one of you grew up LSU fans at all. What made you convinced that with Brian Kelly, LSU was about to do something special?
Well, with me, I really just seen that Coach Kelly, he was living by the words that he preached, and just everything. Like he really seemed like he just had a different. He seemed like he had a different hunger towards this, and like he was really committed to it. And I could tell by just the work and the word that he's been putting in, and just the commitment he's had and the culture he's been bringing with everybody following behind him. I can tell he's definitely all into it, and that's the type of coach you want to have coaching you.
And Colin, what convinced you?
But like you said, I feel like the culture part was really big. He came in there, he brought those guys together, and he went out there and he performed. He helped his players out, and they went out there as a team and performed. Not a lot of people thought that they were going to go out there and do as good as they did this past season. And they put their head down, they worked, they grinded every day. And you can tell that he really loves the game of football. He loves his players. But the most important thing is that he's a winner. And he knows how to win ball games, and that's a coach that you want to play for.
Were y'all familiar with the kind of like talent pipeline that LSU has typically? And, now it's got, a great coach on top of it all too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what a lot of fans are excited about LSU, because the talent pipeline. I mean, Louisiana just has a ton of athletes in it, a lot of speed. That's why, Colin's talking about Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. Those dudes are like 30 minutes away each. now, but the problem's been a lot of times the coaching hadn't been the best, and now a lot of fans agree with y'all that LSU finally has its head man. Now we're going to get to some important issues here. Chance Babin loves the hairstyles, guys, so shout out the hair. Got King David. Apparently, this is your uncle here, Tay. King David says, "Hey, what's up, nephew?
What's good, fam?"
All right. Style question from Isaiah Dowry. Ask Colin, what's your opinion on quarterbacks wearing Nike visors and sleeves and wristbands, etc.? Are you into swagging out of the field, or do you just focus mainly on production? I don't know. I'm gonna let you take it before I comment.
Honestly, I could care less about all that stuff. No, I just go out there and I just go out there and play the game of football how it's supposed to be played. I don't care about all that drip and stuff like that. I mentioned that earlier. Most of these guys just worry about the drip, worry about how they look on camera. But when it comes down to playing football, you have to go out there and perform, and that's all I worry about.
Tayvion, what do you think a quarterback needs to have a certain level of drip?
I definitely think, especially for a quarterback position, you don't need a whole lot of drip. I think when quarterbacks really go naked, I think that's the best drip they got for.
So, Colin, you're not going to pull a Joe Burrow on us and, like, I don't know, walk out in like a 1970s pimp coat before the game or anything like that?
That would be pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah, no, that's nice right there.
I mean, look, I think we could all agree Joe Burrow's got it's some pretty spicy drip, man. I mean,
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I will DM his brother sometimes about him. Like, man, are you going to clown him after the game? He's like, nah, dude, it's kind of fresh. I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's fresh. As the older brother, you have to clown him for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a contractual obligation at that point, whether he pulled it off or not. A lot of guys giving y'all compliments tonight. Future is bright for LSU football. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the field. And you have vision. Keep putting in the work to achieve that vision. I think that's definitely true for both of y'all. All right, guys. I really appreciate y'all coming on to make my final show of the season special. I hope I get to have y'all back on the show, next year throughout, the season at least once. But I appreciate both of y'all being so respectful and courteous to help me out with my podcast here. So I want to give y'all a plug real quick. Y'all make sure to give them a follow on their social media. Why don't you go first, Tayvion? Where can the people follow you?
My Instagram is Tayvion Galloway 13.
And Twitter, same thing?
My Twitter is just Tayvion Galloway, Tayvion, and then Galloway Galloway.
You must be more active on Instagram then, I take it.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all make sure to go give him a follow on Instagram. Colin, what's your at?
My Instagram is Colin Hurley 11, and my Twitter is Colin Hurley.
So y'all make sure to give them a follow, guys. I appreciate both of y'all for popping on tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us.
All right, y'all have a great night, guys.
You as well.
That was Colin Hurley and Tayvion Galloway, two outstanding young men. Very happy to have them on the show. They're the kind of kids who I look at and I hope one day that my son at that age is that courteous and respectful and intelligent and hopefully athletic, but probably not. But just overall great kids to have on. I do want to thank my sponsors real quick before I move on. I'm just going to cover a couple LSU news items. As LSU's women's basketball team is actually behind Georgia right now in the fourth quarter. LSU's undefeated 21-0 record on the line. They're down 4 right now, 63-59. But appreciate y'all for picking us over LSU basketball tonight. I'm going to thank Tremonti's real quick, and we'll be right back. Oh, no, I lost their video.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
We're also brought to you by Celebrity Theaters with locations in Baton Rouge, Broussard, and Ruston. Remember, they are the only Louisiana locally owned theater. So you're not supporting some corporate overlord. You're supporting local Baton Rouge, Ruston, Broussard economy. When you support them, remember the Baton Rouge location has been recently renovated. It is absolutely beautiful with the largest arcade in the area. All these locations have the recliner leather seats that I refuse to go to a theater that doesn't have those, quite frankly. It's just, first world problems in 2023. I don't sit in regular theater seats anymore when you have the option for those recliners. Great arcade, great, bar and concessions at them. They do weekly specials, senior savings night on Monday, bargain Tuesday, where you get discounted movie tickets and prices all night. And then you get half price arcade and college night on Wednesday. Y'all make sure to send them an email, events@celebritytheaters.com, if you want to set up your private event. Got a kid's birthday party, corporate event for your workplace, anything like that, just hit them up. Thank you, Celebrity Theaters, for making the show possible all year. Thank you, Tremonti's. Thank you, Alumni Hall. And thank you for Dead Soxy for making the show possible all year long. And if y'all are interested in getting sponsors for your business for next season, you can always hit me up. You can, you can find us at the site. You can find me on social media. My DMs stay open. Y'all probably know where my social is at pguy_77. Or if you're a little old school, you can always email me lpguy77@gmail.com and set that up. Let's take a few comments here. I'm gonna get to a few news items, but admittedly, it's a slow time for LSU. But I'll get to your questions first. If you want to talk, I kind of wanted to make this just a little bit of a, hang and chill too, but we'll see. Thank you guys a lot. Wonderful guys. Watching both. Yeah. I figured that'd be my only viewers tonight, would be the dual watchers. This is just one of those shows it's a big part of why I only do my show for 6 months a year, is because I'm not beating LSU baseball. I'm not beating out LSU basketball. And quite frankly, I kind of want to sit down and watch the basketball team as a fan rather than doing this show all throughout the year. Hey, the views ain't going to be that great anyway, while the basketball team's on playing. So that is why we do it the way we do it. This may be another Arkansas game. Who do you think is faster, Jaylen Brown or Chris Hilton Jr.? Okay, Isaiah, from what I understand, Jaylen Brown's actually faster, but they're both very, very, very fast. Jaylen Brown he put out some 100-meter yard dash times. He's a very fast player, so I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown, but I'd have to see their football speed. You know what I mean? Because there are sprinters, and then there are football speed guys. And I don't know which one's faster with pads on. It'll be fun to see for sure. LSU 63-61. Yeah, that's the score I'm showing too. All right, let's get to a little bit of LSU's news this week. Like I said, wasn't the biggest news. I thought LSU was going to land Jamel Howard, but Jamel Howard decided to recommit to Wisconsin. Apparently Luke Fickell and company, he wanted to stay closer to home. Chicago, Wisconsin's a much shorter drive. We all know, historically LSU hasn't really closed well on the Midwest guys. That's kind of a reason why you bring in Brian Kelly, Brian Poley, and those guys to kind of help recruit those areas for the corn-fed boys like a Jamel Howard. Missing out on Jamel Howard's a big deal. He's not, he's a quality player, but he is a 3-star recruit ultimately, and he'd be a developmental guy that'll, probably you want to get in the weight room, beef up, get him ready in a couple years. And it just would take time. But the problem is LSU did not land a defensive tackle in this cycle. And I think that's a problem. Even though you went with a ton of defensive tackles in the transfer portal, I still think you should get a recruiting class that you can field a football team with. That is my core belief. And until further notice, That is where my beliefs will lie, is that every recruiting class should have that, because a foundation to a championship team, I think, is ultimately built with recruiting. Transfer portals are great to fill some holes. Joe Burrow was definitely definitely the pillar to a championship team for LSU. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you see the picture right behind me. Homegrown talent. Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson, that offensive line, Kaylavon Chason. I mean, most of that team that was really stacked. And by the way, if Miles Brennan would have been the quarterback that year, they would have been a good team too. They would have probably won 11 games. That's just how stacked the team was. I'm not disrespecting Joe Burrow. Please do not. I'm not taking it. Greatest quarterback of all time. Greatest player of all time. But I think they would have been a good team with Miles Brennan in there. So you build your team with recruiting. I still believe that to be true. Transfer portal's a new wild west, and it's crazy, and you're probably going to be talking about adding 10 to 15 guys with the transfer portal every year, but that's just what we are. It's just what we are. Golden Boot says, what's up? Hey, appreciate y'all guys for popping in and supporting the podcast this season, and y'all guys are great. Pooh Bear, Daniel, and all y'all over there. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all show. Thanks for the update, Big. Hold up, let me check my score. Yeah, I'm showing 63 all on my little score tracker here too. I'll just assume Big Kahuna's Kelly gives the score update. Oh, it's LSU's now down 2. That stinks. But yeah, that's kind of the big news for LSU is, it missed out on Jamel Howard, and like I said, it stinks only for the reason that you didn't sign a defensive tackle. Juwan Johnson is deciding on Saturday. I touched on those guys. I was interested to hear if they had talked to him at all. It is relatively indicative that neither one of them said they had a strong relationship with Juwan Johnson. That kind of confirms what I've been hearing, is that Colorado's the front runner. And I've even heard that maybe LSU might be third because Billy Napier has a very good relationship with him because he was the coach at Lafayette. He's in Lafayette Christian Academy. Well, now he leaves ULL and goes to Florida, so there's a good relationship there. So I haven't heard for sure one way or the other, but the word on the street is Colorado is looking good for his services. We'll see. He'd be an excellent addition to the class should he choose to surprise me and pick LSU. But the 2024 is going to pick up real fast, guys, real fast. We got some good stories on the site, by the way. Tyler, the intern, man, great writer, by the way. If y'all haven't seen Tyler Harden's work for the site, the kid's got really good writing skills. He wrote a really good piece on Josiah Abdullah, so go check that out. That's the 2026 recruit. Also, LSU offered 2026 quarterback. Let me pull his name here. Julian Lewis out of Carrollton, Georgia. And watching his film and hearing people talk about him, he's going to be one of the higher rated quarterbacks out there. Brian Kelly's already visited with him in person. Brian Kelly is thinking way ahead in recruiting. He's out there. LSU also got a visit from Texas wide receiver Hunter Moden, who's, he's committed to Texas right now. But he's a top 100 player, and the fact that he's visiting LSU means something because as you heard from Tayvion and as you heard from Colin, they aren't planning on going anywhere. So a lot of guys say that stuff. Here's a score update sponsored by Big Honus Kelly with the best avatar in all of LSU YouTube. 65 all with 111 left. So there you go. I think I'm going to end the show with my overarching thoughts of LSU going into next season right now. I want to see spring ball and how things work. LSU brings back more talent and more coaching talent, by the way, as well, because LSU won't have a single staff member turnover, it looks like. And I don't think that's ever happened in my time watching LSU football. Certainly not in this day and age of high-profile assistants and high-budget assistants. So that's a lot of continuity for this team. We're talking about, Malik Neighbors back. We're talking about the 5 offensive linemen back. We're talking about Jaden Daniels back. A lot of that defense is returning. I think it's kind of a stark contrast. I will open up next year's show and a complete 180 from where I was in last year's show, where there are expectations for this team. I mean, LSU will be a top 10 team. I think LSU will be a top 7 team, and top Florida State will be right there with them. And LSU is going to go to Orlando with game day there. It will be the biggest game of opening weekend. So it's going to be a big hype game. Jordan Travis is very good there at Florida State, and then Bama comes to town. It's not an easy schedule next year, but on paper, LSU looks to be for certainly better than 10 of the teams on the schedule. And Florida State and LSU will be a toss-up, as we all know. So the expectations are going to be that this is a 10 or 11 win team. I'm right there. I don't know if I'm going to go 10 or 11, but right now I'm not at 9. I'll tell you that much. I think LSU will certainly win more than 9 games. Georgia took a 1-point lead, but those are my thoughts on the team for next year. Appreciate Colin for coming on and all my sponsors. And guys, I can't tell y'all how much I appreciate everybody watching and supporting the show throughout the year. It means a lot to me that I get to use my platform and do this show with y'all. Mike and Buddy will still be live every Wednesday night talking about all of LSU sports. I leave that to those guys. They're much better than I am at covering baseball and basketball and all the goods. I like to just be a fan when it comes to other sports. I like to, let LSU football be my beat and just be as good as I can at that. So thank you all for watching. Y'all make sure to hit the like, subscribe bell. We're up to 17,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. I did not think 2 years ago when we started it, we probably had 1,000 subscribers just from whatever. I think Mike posted music videos and picked up 1,000 subscribers. So to go from that to where we are, one of LSU's largest YouTube channels out there is just unbelievable to me. So I'm really appreciative for all of what y'all do. Thank y'all. Have a great night. I will see all of you lovely people in August.